Do you know that today a lot of people are actually broke? What do I mean by being broke? When you don't have any money in your pocket. And a lot of people today, they're actually blaming the sun, the moon, and so many other factors, like those in the villages, for being responsible for their what? For their poverty or being impoverished. Now, in this topic, I'm going to be looking at the common mistakes that we people are actually making that makes us to be saying every time that there's no money in the pocket. This is not supposed to be the scenario or the situation. Now, let us dive into those things that actually make it to be broke every time. Number one of them is that you always walk around with an empty wallet or with an open wallet. Open wallet. Now, what do I mean by walking around with an open wallet? Walking around with an open wallet means that you are spending money freely without any proper budget or planning. Have you forgotten that when you make your money every month, there's a need for you to actually plan on how you are going to spend the money? A lot of people actually belong to this category because they spend money on ostentatious, expensive, luxurious goods. I am not saying you should not buy luxurious goods or you should not buy expensive things. What I'm saying is that there is always time for everything. Why don't you build a financial insurance or a financial future first? Then when you build a financial future where you are not guaranteed that the future is going to look bright, you can now go back and buy those things which your heart actually desires. Do you understand now? So when you buy all those things that are very, very expensive, what you are doing there is that you are making profit for other people. Those guys you are buying those things from, you are making them richer than what? Than you. Instead of it to create more revenue, more money for yourself, making your money to actually work for you. You are making your money to work for other people, and they are making exorbitant big profits on your behalf. Whereas on every time your pocket is always empty because you want to measure up to with the society. Second one is that what? That you are always getting advice from the banks. The reason why you are broke is because you always get advice from the banks. Banks have promo where they will encourage you to come and collect loans. Mortgage financial institutions, banks, and the rest of them. They will always tell you, guys, come and collect loan, come and take a credit card. You know this, you need that, you need this you need this, They will always advertise and they entice you to come and take money from them. Through this enticement, you go to the banks and borrow money from them. So when you borrow the money from the bank, you pay back what we call interest. Do you think that if the banks actually advise you on how to spend your money, they will make money? Most of the banks are going to fold up. So when you go there and collect the money from the banks in form of a loan, and on the other hand too, you don't have any profitable thing that you want to do with that money, but because your friends are taking money from banks through loans, you want to copy them as well. And that money you are taking from the banks is not generating what? Interest or compound interest for you, or it's not generating anything profitable for you. You can imagine using your money, going to the bank to go and borrow money to actually pay for an house rent. What is that money going to get for you when you used to pay for an house rent? It's a liability, because why? If that money is not going to generate interest for you, you are going to use it to sort out your financial problem. So when you go to the banks to borrow money, you are making a common mistake with money. The banks will never advise you on how to spend your money properly, but they will rather advise you to come and borrow money from them. And when you borrow money from the banks, what are you doing? You will pay interest dearly for the money you have collected from them. Now, number 3 is what I call no life insurance. Most people today, the reason why they are broke is because they are not planning for the future. The future, nobody knows. Anything can happen at any point in the time. So, because the future, anything can happen, a lot of people do not even make provision for this future. You understand now? So, in case, for example, now, God forbid, if your enemy dies, you understand? Your enemy dies. What do you think is going to happen to your family? Most especially if you are the breadwinner of the family. What do you think is going to happen? You don't have an insurance coverage for yourself in case anything happens to you. Your family is going to suffer. Because why? You are not prepared for the future. because you fail to take into cognizance that anything can happen at any point in time. Now, assuming you have actually saved some money in what with insurance companies, for yourself, and anything happens, the insurance company is going to pay some amount of money to your family, and with that money that's being given to them, they can start something profitable with their life. But imagine when you don't even have an insurance cover for yourself, and something that happens. What do you think is going to happen to that your wife and your children that you love so dearly? Now, if you really love them, then you have to plan for the future. Now, other common mistakes that people make with money is that they don't negotiate. They don't negotiate. Because money is rolling in now, you've gotten a little change in your hand, you don't negotiate for the price of goods and services. For example, now, you wanted to buy a product that is worth 50,000 naira, and they tell you it's 50,000 naira. You don't even negotiate for 45,000 or 40,000 naira. You just say bring it and you pay for it. Don't you know that there's power in what? In negotiation? That little money that you think that doesn't mean anything to you because you're not a big man is something to somebody else because it's making money on your behalf. You understand now? So you must learn what we call the power of what? Of negotiation. Don't be too shy to negotiate. Now, a lot of people find themselves in this problem that because they are very shy, they don't want people to insult them, they don't want people to look at them as what has been poor. They want to be classy, they want to be modern, they want to be trendy. So because of that, the price of which they give them anything, they will never negotiate. Now, when you negotiate the price of goods and services, it will be put in the best position to save a lot of money for yourself. Do you understand now? So learn the power of negotiation. Now, another thing is that the common mistake that make people to be poor is that they don't track their money. They don't track their money. Now, a lot of people don't track their money. They spend money just anyhow. You understand now? You need to do what we call financial audit, or doing what I call making a budget for yourself on how you want to actually spend your money. When you track your money, you can be able to know where your money is actually going to at the end of the day. That is, you'll be able to write down, okay, I bought this, this is money for my transportation, this is the money for my feeding, this is the money, this is the way I actually spend this money, so that I don't have to self the question, I have 10,000 naira today, and there's no more 10,000 naira in my pocket. How did I spend it? Do you understand now? So you need to track the way you are spending your money. When you track the way you are spending your money, you will be able to know those things that you don't necessarily need, that you are spending your money upon. Imagine tracking your money. You'll be able to know that this thing I'm actually doing, I don't think I need this thing at this particular time. So let me go for those things that I actually needed. So when you begin to write down the way you are spending your money, you'll be able to track how you are actually spending your money at the end of the day. Now, another thing that most people also make mistakes about is that they don't prioritize their debts. They don't prioritize their debts. Now, banks nowadays, they are charging between 24% to 27% of interest. And you know that you have actually gone to the bank to go and actually borrow money from them. Now, if you don't pay the banks in time, they are going to charge you for penalty, for default. Now, for you to be able to actually solve this problem of money every time, you need to pay up your debt in time. You need to pay up your debt. If you are owing a bank, pay up your debt in time. And when you've done paying that debt, make sure you don't take another debt. There are some people that are 365 days in a year, they're always borrowing money from banks, Imagine you are paying 24 to 27% on the money you have borrowed from banks. Calculate that amount of money that you have actually borrowed from the bank in a year. Then you know that you are losing a lot of money away. So you need to prioritize your debt. So you need to limit the amount of money you are actually borrowing from people or from financial institutions or from mortgage institutions. Now, another common mistake that people make in life or in relation to money spending is that they rely so much on their savings for retirement. Now, a lot of people today, they are saving money. I want to retire. I'm going to retire in the next few years. But the money that you are saving, do you understand now, might not have any value in the future. Do you know why? because of inflation. Because of inflation. Because that money, for example, now you have put like 100,000 for your retirement. Now, in the next 10 years, that 100,000, if you have put it in a bank account, will never give you any interest. If the bank is going to give you any interest for that 100,000 that you have put in the bank, they will not give you more than 200 naira or 300 naira for the money you have put in the bank for the next 10 years for your retirement. And now, in the next 10 years, a lot of things will have happened. Now, one of the things that will happen is what? Is inflation. And you know that in the period of inflation, money does not have a value. So that money that you have put in the banks, that you have allowed in the banks or to be resting in the banks for a very long period of time, will not generate any form of what? Of interest for you. And by the time you collect that money will have lost its value because of inflation. Do you understand now? So what you need to do in this situation is that if you put that money in investment for the next 10 years, that 100,000 naira is going to generate you what I call 200,000 naira. Because of what? Because it's a compound interest. It's a compound interest. So if we put 100,000 naira now, in the next 10 years, that 100,000 is going to become what? 200,000 naira. Because it's a compound interest. And I can bet you it can be even be more than that. Do you get it now? So that's why I always tell people, don't put your money in the banks. The money you should put in the bank is the money you want to be spending and the money you want to be saving. But for your investment, don't put your retirement into savings because it will never create any interest or it will never have any value. Now, the reason why some people are very rich in the minority is because they put their money into investment. And at the end of the day, they get what? 10% interest every year for the money they have saved into that account. Now, another problem that people have with money is that they are always keeping what I call a dead savings account. A dead savings account. Now, this one is very similar to the one I've just explained before. Now, when I say keeping your money in a dead savings account, is that when you put your money in a savings account, it will never generate any interest. You understand now? Rather, the banks will use your money to give loan to another person, and the banks will make exorbitant profits on your behalf, but they will never give you any dime at the end of the day. So the banks will use your money to make business for themselves. So at the end of the day, what you are doing there is that you are keeping a dead savings account because that money will never have any value, but rather it will create what I call dust in the banks. So that is why we always say that it's better for you to put your money into investment where you can have something in return at the end of the day, which is what I call a compound interest. Do you understand now? Now, another factor or another problem that people always have in relations to money is that they're always making emotional investment. Emotional investment. Now, what do I mean by emotional investment? When you put your money into investment is not for a short period of time. It's for a long period of time. But you see that after some time, some people will just save this money investment for at least maybe 6 months or 1 year. At the end of the day, they want to go and collect their own money. That is not a good investment. That's what I call emotional investment. Because why? That money is not yet mature for you to take that money. Investment is what? Is for a period of 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, 45 years. Where you can retire with ease and as a millionaire at the end of the day or a billionaire at the end of the day. So if you talk about an investment, it's not for what? For emotional investment. It's for a long period of time. Now, another problem that people, have when it comes to relations to money is that people worry too much about what people will think about them. That's another factor. What people will think about them. Now, before, you have been spending your money, going for nightclubs, going with your friends to do all sorts of things there. But now, your eyes is open and now you want to invest your money. A lot of people will not be happy with that. They will think, man, this guy is crazy. This guy does not know what he's doing again. It's like this guy is mad and all those kind of a thing. So they always have this, kind of thinking that what people are going to say about them. If I don't follow them to the beer parlor again, if I don't go to the nightclubs again, if I don't spend the money the way I used to spend money again, if I don't buy the latest phones again, if I don't do all those things that we've been doing together again. Now, as an investor or as a prudent or a wise person, you should not be bothered by what people say. Because whether I like it or not, people always say something about you. Do you get it now? So, as a wise investor, you must invest that money. So, you should not think about what people are going to say about you. Most especially if you are not doing those things that you used to do with them, like you used to do with them before. Now, then another thing is that people always get obsession with money. Money is good. Money is wonderful. Money answers all things. But you must not be obsessed with money. Some people are so stingy with themselves that they always want to save money, save money, save money, save money, save money. All their years they are saving money. Of course, you are saving money. But are you investing money? You are not. The money you are putting in the banks, is it creating value? It is not. It is not giving any value or anything at the end of the day. Now, at the end of the day, you are obsessed with this money. Now, the basic thing is that instead of being obsessed with your money, you need to give priority to other things in your life. Those things that actually matters in your life, like your physical health, your spiritual health, your spirituality, your mentality, your financial, health and other factors. Do you get it now? You must give cognizance to all these factors: physical, mentality or mental, spirituality, and what? And financial. So obsession with money, you are obsessed with the money, but at the end of the day, you are not taking care of yourself. In the area of your health, you are not taking care of your health. In the area of your mentality, you are not taking care of what? Of your mentality. In the area of your spirituality, you are not taking care of what? Of your spirituality, which is your purpose in life. Then in the area of your finances, you are not taking care of that as well. So obsession with money is also a problem that people have with money. Now, another factor, which is the last one, is that people don't invest in themselves. You don't understand now? Now that you are making money, you understand, everything is moving on smoothly for you, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in what I call financial education. Financial education will open your mindset to a wide horizon of opportunities that are always around you. Now, spend money on what? On financial education. Spend money on what? On things that can add value to your life. Spend money on what? On books, on classes, on what? On financial aspect of life and some other things that you can use to create more value for your life. So spend more money on those things. But unfortunately, people don't invest in themselves. Do you get it now? If you talk about drinking beers, spending money extravagantly and all of that, people are always interested. But those things that will actually add value to their life, people are not always interested in those things. Now, if you actually invest in yourself, it will help you to manage your financial risk. It will help you to manage your financial risk and widen your horizon on those things that you don't even know. I can imagine in those years back, I don't really have an idea about financial education, on investment portfolios, on rental estate, on the rental, on asset, building and all those things. I don't have that idea. But today now, I have those ideas. And by the grace of God, I'm investing wisely. What about you? So you need to invest in what? In financial education. And that is why this program is there. Now, I am not your financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. I am only giving my own opinion. If you like it, you take it. If you like it, you can leave it. Do you get it now? So it is not a forceful something that, this guy is one actually advised me to go and put my money there. Now my money is gone. In fact, we are not financial advisors. We are only giving our opinions on what you can actually do, and it is not being imposed on anybody. So these are common mistakes that people are actually making in the area of money, that they are not using their money properly. Now, I've explained so many of them. Now, you need to watch this video from the beginning to the end so that you can be able to understand what these things are talking about. All those areas that I've actually touched on, so that you can be able to amend those things and actually spend your money wisely and invest your money wisely. Those that own the future are those that actually invest their money. And those that are doing business that are creating more, opportunities, profit, and returns for them. So does the future actually belongs to you or not? So you need to belong and decide today where you actually want to belong to. In the category of the minority, or in the category of the majority. Are you a consumer or a producer? These topics are what I've actually discussed in my previous lectures. Being a producer and being a what? A consumer, or being in the majority or being a what? In the minority. The choice is yours. So till we meet next time. If you never subscribe to this channel, go and subscribe now. Go and subscribe now. Go and subscribe. Till we meet next time, I remain David Oni. And my YouTube channel is what is David Oniwis. So if you have not subscribed, subscribe now. And if you have not been watching our videos, please be watching them. They will help you one way or the other to build your financial future. Till we meet next time, thank you and God bless you. Bye-bye.